I recently finished Spy X Family. I liked it. I thought it was good. As you can see here, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's a good score. It's a good show. I like it. I'm saying this shit now because the rest of this video will probably make it sound like I hate the show. I don't. I just think this average score is ridiculously high for what it is. I mean, honestly, my whole opinion of it is just, it's a kind of okay anime comedy. It's nothing too special. It kind of goes for the serious humor, which is usually what's like the funniest thing for anime, when characters do things ridiculously but take it super seriously. Prison School did it the best. This is nowhere nearly as good as it. It's close to kind of Kaguya-sama, and it's kind of funny. It's kind of charming. I say this is probably better just because Anya's cuter, and the pairs are hotter, and their reactions are just a bit more sincere and a little bit more unique, but not that much more unique. Not like a average score of 8.86, meaning more people thought it was a 9 or a 10 than didn't, which seems like a lot like recency bias, and I think I'm probably just falling out of touch with the anime community because I'm not watching as much anime as I used to. Let's see, go here to my profile. I've completed a lot of shows. 742 anime completed. That's like a lot. It's not like a shit ton. I mean, it is, but it's not like a neckbeard, all I do every day is watch anime. It's an I used to be that guy, and now I'm not so much anymore. I just feel that this perspective is needed for you to understand my general confusion and my overall stance on the show. Before I can go into that, I just want to quickly explain how I rate things, which is just a 1 to 10 scale, very normal. The way I view it is kind of like the tier list meme, where it's like every show is like a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, whatever. They're all like the same, like every 10, 10 is roughly the same, every 9, 10 is roughly the same, kind of like how every S tier, every A tier, B tier, whatever. That's how I viewed it. I don't use things like half score, like I don't give like a 7.5 out of 10, just because I find that the minutia between a 7 and an 8 isn't so drastic that the 7.5 is really necessary. I think when you go to that minute detail, it's I do a very similar thing. I do the needle drop thing where you give a strong 7 to a light 8 or whatever. Just because it's like your feelings on a show will change over time and you might remember it differently to how you experienced it at the time. So I just think this little bit of leniency is fine. The way I view things, the way I view rating things is just every 10 out of 10 should be roughly the same, every 9 out of 10 should be roughly the same, every 8 out of 10, and so on. Which means that when I go here and I look at the average scores on Mal, people are saying that all of these shows are roughly equivalent. When you have a list like this and it just sort of somewhat objectively goes, this is what the anime community roughly views as the best of the best, I get confused. And I'll be honest, I haven't really looked at this shit in years until I saw Spy X Family was rated so highly. Like, look at it, it's the 24th highest rated anime of all time according to Mal. What? You also have to keep in mind that, like, see here, Gintama here, sequels and stuff are included, so it's probably close to the 10th highest if you sort of accumulate all of Gintama or all of Attack on Titan or whatever, and all the seasons into one show. It's probably close to like the top 10 anime of all time within that ranking. That just seems a bit ridiculous to me. Kaguya-sama, new season's coming out. I'm surprised it's there. I'm assuming it's mostly just hype from the super hardcore fans, 9 or 10 they'd give it. Even then, I don't see why you'd rate it that highly. Am I just out of touch? You know, Full Alchemist Brotherhood makes sense. Gintama, whatever, haven't seen it. I saw like an episode or two, wasn't for me. Whatever, just didn't think it was funny. Humor subjective. That's why I'm not like criticizing the humor of the show. Why like this video is like advertised or like the thumbnail of it's like, oh, it's a Spy X Family review. What's it going to be called? Like Spy X Family. It's just okay. But I'm not really talking about it as much as just its place in the overall anime zeitgeist, because my thoughts on it is it's a kind of funny show. I didn't really think that much more deeply about it than that. There probably is more depth. I'm not going to act like there isn't. I just don't care enough to try and find the depth. It's not that interesting. It doesn't really do anything that new or exciting. The family's cute. Whatever. So you see all these that are like better. You got Hunter x Hunter, Attack on Titan, Season 3 Part 2, the best part of Attack on Titan, the last part with Studio Wit, with the huge like 5-6 episode battle climactic thing, and then the 3 or 4 episodes explaining what's in the basement. Of course it's rated that highly. Legend of the Galactic Heroes, an iconic anime that everyone says they have to watch without ever actually watching it. March comes in like a lion. More Gintama, because Gintama fanbase are really passionate. A Silent Voice, Clannad After Story. A classic, considered a masterpiece by most people. Code Geass Season 2. I rate both seasons of Code Geass the same. Apparently that's a weird thing. Code Geass Season 2 is dumber in general, but the ending is like my favorite ending to any anime ever. I really don't think there could be much debate in that. Or maybe I'm just dumb, I haven't seen it in a few years. Owari Monogatari second season. So this is like the highest rated Monogatari thing. One of the most critically acclaimed and beloved. One of the most thematically deep, visually interesting conversations, so in depth and enjoyable that even with the language barrier they can still be enjoyed and appreciated like abroad. Demon Slayer, because shonen fanboys. A Silent Voice, one of the most popular films of all time, anime or not. And then Spy X Family. And then let's look at the things that Spy X Family, according to the MyAnimeList community, obviously, like, opinions can't be objective, but, like, when you accumulate it, this is kind of as close to an objective standings of how things are as you can get. It's better than Final Season Attack on Titan. It's better than Monster, Mob Psycho 100, the Kizumonogatari movies, the best Haikyuu season, Spirited Away, the only anime to ever win an Oscar, Cowboy Bebop, Shogen Rokuraku Shinju, Mushishi, Hajime no Ippo, Vinland Saga. Let's keep going. Let's just keep going. GTO, Jujutsu Kaisen, Princess Mononoke, another Ghibli movie, Made in Abyss, Violet Evergarden, Howl's Moving Castle, Your Lie in April, One Piece. One Piece! You're seriously telling me Spy... Okay, One Piece anime is shit, but the One Piece manga, whatever. Evangelion... Okay, fuck it, movies don't count. Gurren Lagann, Ping Pong, Haruhi Suzumiya, Death Note? You're seriously going to tell me Spy X Family is better than Death Note? This probably sounds like a condescending or rhetorical question where, like, I'm asking and the answer's obviously, no, it's nowhere near as good. Is it better than Death Note? Is this like a common opinion people have? Is it better than Wolfchill? Is it better than all of these? Am I the weird guy for only giving it a 7? Is it like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece and I've just missed the point? Because based on the score, like, these are still shows where, like, the average score usually is like higher than an 8, so mostly a 9 or a 10 more than anything else. Proportionally, the Spy Family is more popular than like Phase Zero or the end of Evangelion, Slam Dunk, what the... Oh, God. Berserk! Come on, something so ingrained in meme culture. The fucking like, okay, I know everyone's like the Berserk manga is much better than the anime, but still, you got so many iconic songs, like the Guts theme, that's a huge meme. The theme song, Put Your Grasses On, that's a huge part of 90s anime, macho anime culture. And Spy Family's better. Perfect Blue, it's the first Satoshi Kon movie, I think. It doesn't even crack the top 100. Spy Family's in the top 25. What the fuck? Attack on Titan, Eurocamp, Nana, One Punch Man. Not even a huge fan of that one, but I can at least see I can at least understand why it would be rated so highly, even though I only gave it a 7. I don't get it. Why? One Punch Man, I'd say, is just as sort of not that funny, but the animation in it is beautiful. It's so good, and if you just want to watch action, okay, he beats everyone in one punch, but there's other characters and they have cool fights, and sometimes, like, my favorite piece of Sakuga from the whole show is in episode, I think it's episode 2, might be episode 1, where it's like his dream and he's fighting all these guys and he's killing them all in one punch, but there's like a whole, like, there's like hundreds of them and he's killing them all in one punch. It's like fucking badass and awesome. Even if I don't like the humor, it still has the action and I can understand. I mean, I rate them both 7 out of 10s because I just think Spy Family is a little bit more charming, but being a little bit more charming doesn't make it like a masterpiece. It doesn't mean that it should have more 9 or 10s. One Punch Man, like, has more of a mainstream shonen action appeal that Spy Family really doesn't have. I don't get it. Samurai Champloo, fucking Nujabes did the soundtrack. Nujabes, you're gonna tell me Spy Family? Is there any song in the Spy Family soundtrack that you consider anywhere near as iconic as anything from the Champloo soundtrack? Same with fucking Bebop or Evangelion or any... What? Grave of the Fireflies? Come on. Oh my god. Oh. Nichijou? If you're talking about like a classic slice of life comedy anime where hijinks happen, everything's over the top and hilarious, you're gonna tell me Spy Family is somewhat objectively better than Nichijou? I mean, if we're going by the general mass opinions accumulated into numeric scores is objective, which for the sake of this whole shenanigans of the video, we're going to say is... Anyway, I think I've proved my point, which is that I'm a boomer who doesn't get anime why they're good anymore. But more so, I think just when you rate things, they're not isolated pieces of media. I know a lot of the time we like to view it as like this specific thing was a 7 out of 10, but it's a 7 out of 10 based on your accumulative experience of every other anime or movie or album or painting or whatever. Based on all this, what you would condense to be generally how you feel. So I also feel like people take numbers too seriously. In general, it's just how you feel, and the number just roughly expresses it. Like I was saying with the tier list, it's like roughly this is the best. This is not quite as good, but still really close to the best. This is very good, you know? That's one of the few things I like is, oh, this is go whatever, Spy Family. Loads, see, look, here it just says 10 masterpiece, great part. Like, it even helps you to distinguish that's more of like a tier list than it is numerical value. You shouldn't rate things based on... Okay, you should rate things based on how you feel, obviously. But you should understand that your feelings come from everything else. And if you rate it as a 7 out of 10, think of everything else you've ever rated as a 7 out of 10. Could you honestly tell yourself that you enjoyed it as much as you did the other things? Or like an 8 or a 9? Or even a 10, as most people think Spy Family is. It's like a 9 or a 10. Can you honestly tell me it's as good as everything else you would personally consider to be a 9 out of 10? Once again, it sounds like a rhetorical question where I'm expecting you to say, no, obviously it isn't, and then change your score. Like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm genuinely asking. If you think it is like a 9 or a 10, or even an 8 out of 10, if you think it deserves its rating in the top 25 on Mal, if you think it deserves that spot, then please explain why. Because I'm actually like genuinely so confused by the 24... And it's not even like it's like, oh, it's like only a couple of that. 876,000. So it's like 750,000. Like more than, like a good 100,000 more than 750,000 people all collectively agree it's a masterpiece. It's one of the greatest anime ever made. Is it? Have I missed the point? Please tell me. Like I said, I'm going to reiterate. I gave it a 7 out of 10. That is a good score. I really like this show. I think it's better than around 70% of other shows. That could be wrong. In general, if you go to my average score, it's probably going to be very lenient. I tend to like drop shows that I think are less than a 5 out of 10 because why would I continue to watch something I don't like? But yeah, my mean score is 6.53, which means I think it's better than most of the things I watch. It's an above average show in my eyes in terms of the ones that I've even completed, let alone the ones I dropped, which would make it like exponentially better. It's one of the best shows I've seen. But it's not one of the like best of the best masterpiece. If you don't watch this, like what are you doing? Which seems to be the general consensus for Spy Family. Or is it Spy X Family? I don't even know. Do you pronounce the X? I don't know how to finish the video.